This is part 5, the last part. You can go back and see the other parts if you would like. We are talking about spirituals, slavery, spiritual liberation, but there is a big collective message through all of them. Again, if you would like to go back and see it. But continuing where I left off. Hold on. We'll start up here. So Anderson, who like Hayes traveled to Europe to begin her career, later returned to America. And I do want to say it's pretty sad that they have to go to Europe to go to a broader audience of less bias and ignorance in, some ways, to establish themselves to be considered good enough. And in the United States, to have to, it's good they learned the skills and the things that they needed to learn, but they had to go to a different place outside of what was supposed to be their home to have the chance or the opportunities to show their worth and how much they could create and bring, beautiful essence to authenticity into artistry. So later returning to America as an established concert artist, Anderson felt a strong connection to her ancestors and incorporated spirituals into nearly every concert program. But unlike Hayes, sang the spirituals in dialect. In 1939, she gave a free outdoor concert at the Lincoln Memorial, arranged by Secretary of Interior Harold Ickes, Ickes, could be saying that wrong, and attended by 75,000 people, which is a very, big deal in itself. That is an accomplishment that's very beautiful, and I feel like the tone and the expression that she put in to these spirituals, she was able to project outward a message on a broader scale, and being in the right place at the right time gave her that beautiful experience in life. But slave spirituals played an important role as the foundations for two of America's indigenous musical styles, blues and jazz. Similar to spirituals, blues deals with everyday life and work and the hardships that accompany them over the years. And many jazz songs have been loosely based on or directly linked to slave spirituals. Some of the more direct jazz links include Duke Ellington's Come Sunday and John Coltrane's Spiritual. Wynton Marsalis, a jazz trumpeter, has also produced a jazz oratoric, Blood and Fields, which draws on traditional yoking of the idea of freedom with song. The sheer volume of music anchored in the slave spiritual is breathtaking, especially when you're able to actually connect to it in its essence, in its life, the actual breath, the communication of the emotions into our minds and hearts. But conclusion here, W.E.B. Du Bois once said spirituals were the slaves' one articulate, hold on, got it. So it was said that the spirituals were the slaves' one articulate message to the world. And when you deliver that message, you're going to deliver that message with some meaning, with some heart, okay? How it's meant to be intended. So, initiated as a way for slaves to unite as one people in the midst of suffering. They stand as a powerful reminder of how scant resources can be put to generous effect. Deployed in both personal and political fashion, spirituals allow us to see how transgressive tactics can effectively be woven into everyday in the shape of ethical practice. To this day, spirituals are used to encourage, to offer hope, and lend support. Go tell it on the mountain and sounds and resounds as a testament to aesthetics put to service of moral life. And Go Tell It on the Mountain is a very beautiful song. The birds are chirping now. The birds, we're just gonna get a little message since we got time here. The outcasts and dwarves and gnomes. So this brings a message of really connecting to the awe-inspiring of nature, of the beauty, of the authenticity of creating, and not being an outcast, and being able to, really connect to the emotions, on many different levels, even if they're not actually your emotions, being able to relate to them, to not deny them, but to understand them and to reach out and to pull things together, laying on the shores and surrendering, to what's going on around you, being very reflective, being very, intuitive, very, driven and focused, but still willing to tap into that emotion and that creativity to the elements. With this card here, it's very beautiful. It's like a male and a female, a balance here, so to say. It's got the white color. It's very airy, but still connected to the earth, to the sands, to the seas, the waters, to the skies. And there's also, like, even though you don't see the fire there, in essence, when you pull back the veil, when you pull this apart a little bit, on the inside, you see, where the eternal ray of sunshine was coming from. You see what power drives that force, what power lends its help and assistance to guide this beautiful energy forward, this beautiful movement of sound and frequency and connection on many different levels. The undines and the mermaids here, so it's a connection to sound in medicine, into the healing waters, seeing past the surface and being able to dive deep and take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You may be there a little while to a water, but choosing happiness and love, connection, community, wholeness, oneness, unity, that fire, that drive, that motivation, that's going to get you through the tough times, that's going to lead you to these beautiful new earth.